Yo, happy Monday to you all, man. I was watching film and I was seeing Devin Haney's fights and his performances, and almost all of his fights, he has the advantage in some fashion, whether it's, I don't know, youth, height, arm length. Devin Haney always has the advantages in every single fight. And, I'm starting to compare their resumes, and Devin would never do what Ryan did versus Tank Davis in terms of being in a compromised position. Devin has always had leverage, except in this Ryan Garcia fight. In this Ryan Garcia fight, Devin has had to concede and give every strength in terms of the negotiation table. Ryan is winning in that aspect because Ryan did walk out on Devin only for Rolly to back out, only for Devin to basically backtrack on his word, saying that he would, like, don't call me back. And then he again concedes and gives Ryan his opportunity. Because obviously Devin has a lot to gain by beating Ryan Garcia in terms of popularity, pay-per-view upside, having a successful pay-per-view because he didn't really have one with Lomachenko. And Devin doesn't really need credibility because his resume speaks for himself and his accolades in beating accomplished fighters like a Jorge Linares, a Lomachenko, and old boy and Regis Prograis, who is an old boy, who's slow as molasses, slow feet, and besides, he doesn't really know how to fight from the outside. And he started professionally at like age 30 or 25 or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Hey, Regis probably started pro like at age 22 when I said 35. Look, man, I'm not going to be on here for too long, but Ryan can beat Devin Haney. You see, after Ryan got dropped by Tank Davis, all his confidence went out the window. If you watch that second round, Ryan was smacking Tank. He was beating him and throwing a bunch of punches and combinations. And you can see a little bit of fear in terms of the body language from Tank. But Ryan got a little too trigger happy. And Tank made him pay. From that knockdown, you can see Ryan's confidence wane. And Tank basically was able to slow down the action, pick apart head and body, and just piece apart Ryan Garcia, exploit him, and then that knockout was inevitable to the body, right? Then you saw after that knockdown, Ryan's confidence just dropped, right? And Tank banked all over that. Ryan has cop-outs. He can say that, there was spies in camp. He had a rib injury. He had to concede to a rehydration clause to a catch weight. He didn't have to do that against Devin. Now, as we know, Devin is much more polished. He's much more accomplished. But going back to my original opening statements, Devin has never had to not sacrifice in weight, but in terms of having leverage, Devin has always had it, quote unquote, his way, right? Like when we look at the fight against George Kambosos, Devin Haney had all the leverage in terms of height, arm length, defense. George was just a guy that really got lucky in the Teofimo Lopez performance. That's just the reality. Teofimo Lopez just overlooked George Kambosos because if you watch George Kambosos against Mickey Bay, he looked like shit. But against Teofimo Lopez, you would think George Kambosos is the greatest shit since sliced bread. He got really lucky against Teofimo, right? But never the case may be, he had 36 minutes of sharing the ring with Teo, and Teo couldn't get the job done. So I'm not going to, shit all over George Kambosos. I'm going to give him his credit for that night. But would he be able to replicate it on Teofimo Lopez? I don't think so. Because we have to think about this in terms of the context. Yes, Teofimo did shoot himself in the leg, right, by taking this fight to purse bid. But this fight was canceled, 5 times by Triller. It was canceled to a Sunday, pushed to a Monday, moved forward to a month before Eddie Hearn and DAZN just basically made it in a 1 month's notice and got the fight made, right? I can only imagine in terms of the fatigue, the weight training that Tio had to make just for that George Kambosos fight. But that was all his doing. But the context remains that Tio was, not that same that night because of all these other factors, even though it was self-inflicted wound. Devin, going back to the main topic, Devin has always had the leverage and the upside from a physical standpoint against every single fighter at 135, against Jorge Linares, against Jojo Diaz, Gamboa, George Kambosos, even Lomachenko, who's the best fighter on his resume. Devin is longer, he's taller, much more youthful. And Loma, in that particular case, Loma is a very short fighter who fights even shorter. He doesn't reach and hop in all crazy like a Manny Pacquiao, right? If you really watch and dissect Manny Pacquiao, he's a very athletic fighter that throws a lot of punches, but he can bang on the inside, but he's mostly, in order for Pacquiao to knock you out, he needs to maximize the in and out movement, the bounce, and the 1-2 from distance. You don't ever really see Manny Pacquiao have an inside game like Robert Duran and just staying there in the pocket. Absolutely not. He's in and out and fully extension of his arms. Lomachenko don't fight like Pacquiao. Lomachenko is always kind of squatted. Hands are always shifting up and down. He's circling out. But he needs to get on the inside to throw his shots because he doesn't reach. You rarely see Lomachenko reach. He doesn't, if ever. Devin does. That might be his downfall against Ryan Garcia. Ryan could catch him in between. Because I was studying a couple of Ryan Garcia's fights, and I was like, yo, bro, you do have the sauce to beat Devin. Now, of course, we question his mindset and where he is with this, because Ryan Garcia has a channel with the Ghost Hunters on Netflix, and he's chasing all these poltergeists and things of this nature. So, like he's Illuminati hunting. So you like, bro, you're kind of confused right now, bro. Like you gotta really dial in. And if Ryan does dial in, he has the height, the matching speed, and the IQ to match Devin. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. Like Ryan could beat Devin Haney, right? Just because where his mind state is at, but when they were both at 135 and Ryan was his mandatory, it would be like a 60-40 fight, even 55-45. And you might favor Ryan because Ryan has obviously his resume isn't as accomplished as Devin Haney's because Devin has Lomachenko, Enriquez Prograis, and Jorge Linares. But Ryan was able to knock out Luke Campbell, something that Linares couldn't do and Lomachenko couldn't do. And Ryan also fought Tank Davis. Devin Haney has never fought a puncher like Tank Davis. I don't even think Devin Haney has fought an undefeated fighter. Ryan has a couple. Maybe Oscar Duarte had one loss. So when we really look at this, man, this is still a relatively close fight. I was studying the Devin Haney tape against Regis Prograis, and I was like, damn, bro. Like, Regis Prograis really sucks in terms of fighting outboxers. You see? Devin Haney also to himself has never fought an outboxer. He is the outboxer. Where's his Sander Martin on his resume? He doesn't have one. Lomachenko is not an outboxer. He's an inside fighter. Regis Prograis is not an outboxer. Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares, George Kambosos, Devin Haney has fought no outboxers. Ryan's resume is much more diverse in terms of that aspect. He's fought come forward fighters. He's fought outboxers. And then he's fought extreme power hitters and has conceded. Whereas Devin has always had the leverage because his father, Bill, puts his son in a position to have all the leverage in his fights. You guys get what I'm saying? Now, this does not mean that I'm like, bro, put your money, $40,000, $10,400 on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that Ryan will beat Devin Haney on 420. But what I am saying is that he can beat him. Yeah, what the hell is playing in the background, bro? Oh, smokes. Yo, Vince, Ryan Garcia is the people's champ. Hey, maybe so, dude. Like, shoot. Warp Speed goes at Vince Vargas. Good even fall, sir. Warp Speed goes, put your money up then, the homie Ricky. I might, bro. I might just put, $50 or 100 on Ryan Garcia. I really do, man, because he can do it, bro. I believe in Ryan, and I believe in Ryan's belief in himself that he can beat Devin Haney. Right? Because like I was saying, I believe Ryan, obviously Ryan's a winner. So he has the confidence of one. He knows that he can beat a lot of people. After that second round, he knew that he couldn't beat Tank. But that amateur experience, even if it's false confidence on Ryan's behalf, he still thinks that he's just the superior fighter to Devin Haney. And I don't know if Devin Haney has the knockout power to really piece apart Ryan like the way Tank Davis did. Because I was looking at the punches and angles that Devin was landing on Regis Prograis, even though he's a southpaw. To another point, when he fought George Kambosos, Devin Haney didn't look so great, especially not in the first fight. He just won off a jab, one off of 1-2. He just got the job done. In the second fight, you see him being a little more like searching for the KO, but he was getting caught in between. George Kambosos don't hit like Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney could easily outbox Ryan, but if he easily outboxes him and makes it boring, in that aspect, Ryan Garcia won. Because you're supposed to be like, bro, you're undisputed. You're on the pound-for-pound list. You beat Regis Prograis. You're supposed to outbeat the performance that Tank did on me. And you ran and outboxed me? Come bang with me. And if Devin tries to bang with him, he might have more dog than Ryan. I would say that. But when Devin did get caught, he sodomized Jorge Linares for like the next 9 rounds and held on to dear life. What if Ryan does catch him with a, check uppercut, a check left hook? Man, there's a lot of things and Ryan can do that, right? Anyway, because also put it to you like this. Ryan fought a similar fighter that Devin Haney has fought. Devin fought Jojo Diaz. Ryan fought and knocked out Javier Fortuna. Ryan would also knock out Jojo Diaz, believe it or not. Okay? Javier Fortuna and Jojo Diaz, even though that was a Javier, I think he might have been coming off a layoff for Ryan fight. I don't remember all the context, but Jojo and Javier Fortuna, I think they fought to a draw. Ryan pieced apart Javier Fortuna under 6 rounds. What do you think he's going to fight to, liking 15-year-old pictures in Jojo Diaz? Ryan would piece him apart. Devin went 12 rounds with Jojo, and it was, even though it wasn't competitive, I think Jojo probably won 3-4 rounds. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it makes a lot of sense in terms of the film that I'm watching. Obviously, Devin's going to have a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's going to have the better jab. Devin can also match Ryan's hand speed. He's obviously much more dedicated and much more dialed in and focused. He looks to be growing into his man strength as well, into his man body. So he's obviously the betting favorite. I don't have to tell you that. There's a reason why he's a champion, 2-time division champion, pound for pound list, all that. But Vince goes, greater force like the Illuminati will give him the strength to go numb and dumb in the ring, unconscious while away. Man, you might be right. But, young and dumb is what Ryan needs to be against Devin Haney. He can't make this into a boxing match. Like, bro, you got to go guns blazing like you did in the second round on Tank Davis. That's what Ryan needs to do. He can't go out there and just like, let's just make this an amateur fight. Like, bro, if you're saying that you 10-8 Devin Haney, then try to do it again in a professional setting and do it for 36 rounds. If Ryan can get and showcase his inner fucking Marcos Maidana, he's going to give Devin a good fight. But we're going to see, man. He's going to need a couple of game plans, but it's going to be fun, man. It's exciting. I don't really like the pay-per-view to pay for it. I don't even know who's on the undercard. I think Arnold Barboza is the co-main event. He's fighting a tune-up. But, it's not a pay-per-view fight. The main event don't sell it for me itself. I know Ryan's doing a great job just, making headlines and just making it about himself. But, you can't fool me. I'm going to tune in. Don't mean I'm going to buy that shit. Vince Vargas goes, the Eclipse sent Ryan a message today. Bro, that's hilarious. Let me. That's funny, bro. That's funny. He's gonna be like Quetzalcoatl, you know. This is the beheading of Devin Haney or some shit, dude. You know, some apocalypto reference. Look, man, I think that's pretty much it for me. I don't really got much to say. But on that note, guys, happy Monday. Enjoy that eclipse. Obviously, already happened. But yeah, man, you guys have to wait 21 more years for the next one, which is crazy. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a really interesting fight. Obviously, Ryan has everything to gain and pretty much nothing to lose, whereas all the pressure is on Devin Haney as well. That's another aspect to look at it. Devin Haney has performed, but he can't put a stinker against Ryan Garcia. He just can't. This is Devin Haney's biggest rivalry. It's like in terms of history, it's not his history versus Tank Davis. It's not even Shakur Stevenson calling him out. This is Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney's biggest rivalry, which is why Devin Haney chases Ryan Garcia more so than Devin chases Shakur, more so than Devin chases Tank Davis, right? Devin Haney don't chase anybody like he has chased since 135 and Ryan Garcia, even after a knockout loss, even after Ryan pulls out on this negotiation multiple times, tries to negotiate with Rolly to get the WBA belt. And then Devin Haney still wants this Ryan Garcia. This is Devin Haney rivalry. 4 or 5 fights in his amateurs, been chasing him since 135. Like, this is Devin Haney mega fight. So the world is his stage right now, and he's got the attention. He has to perform. He can't put on a stinger because people will boo him. He has to basically dominate and knock out Ryan Garcia the way Terrence Bud Crawford pieced apart Amir Khan with that type of intent. If he goes out there, tries to outbox Ryan Garcia like he did against George Kambosos, shame on you. You're supposed to be the consummate professional and just that much more of a dominating force than Ryan. Very interesting fight, guys. Very interesting fight. Warp Speed goes, not selling is good enough, the homie. The reports say tickets are selling very slow. A lot of them are available. And they also just dropped the pay-per-view price. Good. Because honestly, this is a $35 pay-per-view with a $20 pay-per-view undercard. I mean, this undercard is garbage. Like, if Tank Davis is giving us him versus Frank Martin and you're giving us David Benavidez versus Alexander Volstik, now that's a main event versus Anna co-main. Who is Arnold Barboza fighting? This is not a pay-per-view undercard. When Tank Davis fought, was it Pitbull Cruz or Hector Luis Garcia? There was Rashidi Ellis against Villa. There was Demetrius Andrade against Damon Nicholson. And there was Jaron Boots Ennis against Karen Hashimilov. And you're giving us just Arnold Barboza? Like, bro, you should have thrown in Jose Ramirez on the undercard as well. Or Jose should have been fighting Arnold Barboza on the co-main event. The winner gets Devin. Then you should also put Virgil Ortiz. You know, like, who gives a shit about this Fresno card on whenever it's happening? Like, those fights should have been on the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney undercard. Like, what the fuck is Golden Boy doing? Like, nobody, I mean, whatever, bro. Like, you know. Vince goes, Dracula this weekend. Yes, sir, man. Him and Mason Abdullah or Abdullah Mason, they're fighting on the co-main, on the undercard of Jared Anderson this Saturday or Friday. Yeah, man, I'm excited for Ruben. It looks that if Venado Lopez can get a unification fight at 126, that he's going to move up to 130. And yeah, man, I'm really excited to see if Ruben becomes a champion this year. I don't think Venado has any interest in fighting Ruben Villa again to avenge that loss. He gains nothing from fighting Ruben, so maybe Ruben can fight somebody else. But we'll see, man. It'll be really interesting to see how he performs. He has to win by knockout, man. This guy that he's fighting, he's never been knocked out. He's lost like 6 times, but he's never been knocked out. Ruben needs that stoppage. because people still remember that performance that he had versus Emmanuel Navarrete. Vince Vargas goes, I'm going to buy the Ryan Garcia pay-per-view. Yeah, man, hopefully you get your money's worth. Yup, Mr. Vargas and another Salinas kid just KO'd his foe this past week in Angel Chavez. Yeah, man, Angel Chavez and Adrian Serrano fought, I think, on Friday on the DAZN undercard, or, their telecast, and they're both local kids, so that was pretty cool. 4-Speed Vince goes, nice. I'll look him up. Yeah, I am also. Should be fun to barbecue and watch Haney beat up on Garcia or Garcia KO Haney. Top Rank gives us better cards. ESPN Plus. Chavez is a come forward pressure fighter, much like a Benavidez or more like a Diego Pacheco. Yeah, he's not as refined though, but we said this the last fight. Ruben needed a KO, but that didn't happen, right? Correct. Yeah. So, and the reason why I need Ruben for the KOs is because people love KOs. See, knockouts sell. Coming forward, being fan friendly, throwing a lot of punches, that sells. That last fight Ruben had against that Colombian or Venezuelan kid, man, that was a good fight. Yeah, sure, Ruben won, but the other guy was pretty good. But you have to understand this is the big leagues. On Ruben Villa's ESPN debut was a championship fight against Emmanuel Navarrete. He didn't look so good. ESPN eventually re-signs Ruben Villa again. Ruben has to perform, right? And the best way to perform and make statements are with TKO stoppages or knockouts. And he has to steal that spotlight. For a guy who has over, 200 amateur fights in his total package of his career, man, you got to act like it, because the fighters that do have 200 amateur plus fights, they're tearing up their sport. They're the faces of the sport of boxing. Ruben needs to cement himself in that echelon, right? So, yeah, I'm going to be looking for Ruben to really get the knockout. Again, he's also relatively young and he's growing into his man strength. But I need to see that because if we were to really be honest and critique certain things, right? Venado Lopez and Ruben Villa, they've gone different careers. And why? Because Venado actually gets the knockout. If that's all Ruben needs to do. He's got the IQ, he's got the legs, he's got the defense, he's got the speed, he's got the left uppercut, the right hook. He's got it. Now you just got to piece it together and get that stoppage. Once he does, it's the same thing with Devin Haney. Once he does, or even if you don't get the knockout, but you get a couple of knockdowns, that's even good. That's enough. But yeah, man, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm gonna be super excited. I hope Ruben and Top Rank, they have him fighting more in California. Like, Texas is nice, but that's a California kid. Have him fight in California. I don't know why all of these fights are happening in Arizona and in Texas. Bro, bring those fights. Like when Jermell Charlo fought Brian Castano in Carson, California, why are you bringing that fight to California? That's a fight that should be happening in Texas, because Jermell he's Texan. It doesn't make no sense to put Ruben Villa in Texas when he's a California kid. It makes no sense to have Ryan Garcia fight Devin Haney, two California kids in New York. No disrespect to New York, but they don't deserve that fight. Why do New Yorkers get to watch two California kids? They have no ties with those kids, but Californians have with Devin and Ryan. It doesn't even make sense to put that in Las Vegas, because they're not from Las Vegas. I can't stress that enough. So I don't know what Golden Boy or Ryan wanted to do, or whoever chose that venue in Madison Square Garden or wherever the fuck they're fighting at. Bro, that should be in California. You can put that in, I don't know, the Chase Center in San Francisco. You can put that at the HP Pavilion in San Jose. You can put that in the SAP Center in San Jose. Hell, you can put that at Crypto Stadium. Try to fill out a Niner Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Levi Stadium. Why the fuck are you putting that fight in New York? That's why the tickets are selling low, because New Yorkers don't care about Devin Haney and they don't care about Ryan Garcia. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't people that are going to buy the pay-per-view or tune into the event. It's still a big event, but I'm saying that fight deserves and belongs to be in California. Devin Haney is a California native. He's a California champion. Bro, at this point, who cares about New York when it comes down to the boxing scene? You guys can keep Edgar Berlanga. Build up your own fighters. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just talking, bro. On that note, guys, y'all have Have a good one. Happy Monday. Enjoy that eclipse. And yeah, man. Take care, Vince. Thank you for tuning in. Speed, like always, man. Hopefully your live goes well. I didn't even come to do a live, just had like a couple of minutes to spare. But on that note, guys, take care as always, and happy Monday, man.